Well, I am proud to say that that last hope was a great hope, and joining me in the studio is a very healthy Eric Drew. Congratulations,
Great to be here, Donny.
What a great story, man.
Thank you.
It was interesting, as you were looking at we were watching the tape, and you saw yourself in bed, and while you were reading that statement, you said, boy, I was really, really sick today.
Yeah, it brought back a bad memory of how sick I was.
Yeah. And I was about to ask you the question, but you already told me, and I said, but why, when you're fighting for your life, obviously identity theft is a horrible thing.
Sure.
Were you focusing so much energy in that at that moment?
Well, you know, fighting cancer, and I think, you know, Josh did a good job of going into this when we did the Dateline piece, but, you know, you're fighting cancer. It's a very, very passive thing to do. You're laying there on your back, you're taking in chemos and things like that. This really gave me something to get angry at, to sink my teeth into, you know, and, you know, in some ways it may have even saved my life.
The fact that you had a cause. And
that I had a cause, that I was, you know, anger is a much more productive emotion than despair any day. And I'm counseling patients on how to get through terminal illnesses by the hundreds now. And one of the things I tell them is, you know, find something that you're passionate about to get involved in, because this will help you.
It gave you a cause to live instead of just monitoring your own health every moment of the way.
It was personal. Here I was dying in the hospital. The doctors, the medical system was letting me down. My transplant was failing. I had pretty much lost everything in my life. And now somebody in the hospital, and I knew it was somebody in the hospital.
How did you know it was somebody in the hospital?
Well, because of the timing and location of the charges. I mean, this happened to me. It started happening a week after I got to Seattle. I started getting notices from banks. I said, this is too much of a coincidence. And the notices were coming, you know, they were being submitted from a Seattle address. So I knew it had to be somebody in the medical community. And I just said, you know, this is it. I've had it. I'm not going to listen to what society tells me can and cannot be done anymore. I'm going to, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to catch the guy who's doing this to me. And not only that, but forget these doctors and everything they're saying. I'm going to find a way to get through this.
Now, they gave you 5 days to live. They said you were going to die.
Without treatment. 5 days left to live without treatment. That was when I was first diagnosed. I was that sick.
You were that far away.
And they said, you know, you need to check in. I said, well, how long do I have? And they said, if you don't check into Stanford tomorrow morning, you probably won't live for, you know, more than 5 days. So I was pretty ill.
While you're fighting for your life, this scum Gibson is out there using identity. If he was in the studio right here, what would you say to him?
He's a I don't think there's anything, you know, somebody who would do something like that, I mean, you know, to go out and hurt somebody who's defenseless, to go out there and kick somebody while they're down, I mean, you can't have, like my mother said, you can't have a heart, you can't have a soul. I don't think there's anything you could say to somebody like that would make a bit of a difference.
I think you said it. Well, guys, it's Chris, fantastic job. Josh, as always, great job. Obviously, the real hero of the story, Eric, man. And I think tremendous lesson, not only exposing one more vulnerability vis-a-vis identity theft, but even more important out of the story, that when you are sick and down, if you have a cause and you become the guy with the white hat, not just fighting for yourself, but for everybody else, that could be the best medicine.
Absolutely, it can.
Great story, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
Still ahead.